Roy. So boy. What's up, killer? Huh? What's up, killer? Rubber ducky, you're the one. Make bath time seem almost fun. Rubber butt plug, you're the one. You make her scream every time. You're a big boy. What's going on? How are you guys all doing? Get him. All right, enough. Enough. What's going on? How are you doing? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. How are you doing today? Man, oh man, oh man. Figured we'd kill this live for a little bit, burn an hour, then run out to the range and shoot some tracer rounds. Get a little FRT action. How are you doing? Appreciate you stopping by. Pretty chill day for me today. Beautiful weapons we have there, brother. Thank you. Appreciate that. Do I have some AP? I have armor piercing incendiary rounds, yep. They're armor piercing rounds. I have them for the 50 BMG though. So that's kind of why I bought the 50 BMG, was for poking holes in thick shit. Mason, how are you doing? Hope your day is going well. I'm burning an hour here ish. I don't know what's overkill. You got ST? I don't know what an ST is. Hopefully there's not supposed to be a D there, because no, I don't. Joe, how are you doing? Hope your day's going well. Braxton the Creator, how are you doing? Y'all be sure to double tap that screen for me. Mason, when are you getting that CZ Bren? I'd like to check that out. Snipers is a job class. It's not a weapon systems. So the 50 BMG in the back is classified as an anti-material rifle. And the rifle in the front, it's a precision rifle, which could be used for a job class. Doing good, taking the kiddo trick-or-treating pretty quick here. Where are you going trick-or-treating? So I don't know anybody that does it early. I know Fond du Lac does it the day before. and we do it the day of. So nuclear beans, a lot of communities have it days leading up to Halloween because of kids. So like today's the weekend. It's pretty common for most places to do that. Dude, I definitely want to try that. So it's actually been something on my list for a while. Do you have the latest, greatest version? Is that what's coming? If you have a picture of it, wait an hour or so and then send me a picture because I'm curious. Let's see. You got an SKS? I actually have 3 SKSs. I have a Arsenal 26, an Arsenal 36, and then just a domestic or a commercial import. It's like a CGA or CGN or something. Eden and Campbell spot, Kewaskum. There you go. No CZ Shadows today. So the one with the orange grips is a CZ Tactical Sport Orange. So it's up a few levels over the Shadow 2. But Shadow 2s are good guns. Well, that'll be fun, man. And I know you said before when we talked your kid's little, so what did you dress him up on? Iola does it tomorrow. There you go. I have a couple 22s out here today, but yeah, I have lots. Hey, Woo, how are you doing? Yeah, I'll get distracted for a second. I hope you're well, man. Hope you're doing good. I haven't seen really any of your content in a while. Diddy Tickler, 22. You got a 22? Yeah. So the gun on the bottom left is a 22, the revolver, and then the 2 semi-automatic pistols on the right side, the purple one, the red and black one. Them are both 22s. Yeah, I'm good. The weather's killing me though, man. I'm hurting today. Got it, but the revolver looks like a Ruger GP100. I can tell by it is the second one on the top from the right. That is definitely a Ruger GP100. It's a 4-inch barrel. I like that gun. It's a nice gun. How's a cow? He's a cow. That's good stuff. That's good stuff, man. I'll tell you, Mason. Enjoy this time because it's absolutely priceless. When they're small like this, and I'm talking like pre-7 years old, that's when Dad's still a superhero. That's when they look at you differently. They look at you like they're in awe, right? And as your kids get older, they stop looking at you in such a great feeling. But when they're little, man, I'll tell you, that's the best time you're ever gonna have. And now where they're big enough, you know, you can buy a Matchbox cars and do stuff like that. It's badass. Hey, Woo, no, that's my Savage, but it does have a new barrel. Maybe I'll try showing it a little bit better. So that's my Savage. Shaw Barrels took that from me in July, and they rebarreled the Action. That was a sponsored build by them. So if you want to know the specs on the barrel, I'll gladly tell you. I haven't shot it yet, and it probably won't be shot until spring just because of the break-in process. That's a whole process. Yeah, it's nice. I bought that rifle in 2000. It was a law enforcement model, heavy bull barrel Savage. That was a law enforcement exclusive. It was the very first brand new gun I bought in 2000. So I was young. I mean, that's 25 years ago. And it's nice. It's been a great shooting gun, but I wore the barrel out. You know, how many rounds does it take to wear a barrel out? 30, 40,000. So if you like shooting as much as I do, then you should get this game called Ghosts Tabor. But you have to have VR. So my son has VR. I don't really play video games anymore. I just don't. I don't have time for it. Grilled Cheese Mouth, how are you doing, sir? I hope your day is going well. So we're going to turn that into a build over winter. I was hoping to have it back sooner. But it's a busy shop and they were doing it for free, so I can't complain. The specs on, I'll tell you, because I might as well, right? It's a 308. It's a 22-inch stainless barrel 416R. It's got a 5/8 by 24 thread. It's a 1-inch bull barrel with what they call a fun flute. I don't even think they offer the fun flute. I ordered a deep spiraled flute, and the owner put that on there. He crossed out the spiral flute and he put deep fun spiral. So it's kind of cool. Surprising how much weight that firearm took off. My old barrel, uh, my old barrel off of that gun weighs as much as the whole gun does right now, and it's still a stainless steel barrel. So them flutes took a significant amount of weight off the gun, which is, it's nice. I gotta go, man. Talking to you later. All right, dude. I appreciate it. I hope you're doing well, though, Awu. I hope your day goes great for you. I always get excited when I see you in here, so I hope to see you again sometime soon. What do I need to purchase a gun? So I don't know what country you're in or what state, but in the state I live in, which is Wisconsin, you need a valid ID. You need to have the financial resources to buy it, and you need to be able to pass a background check. That's it. All right, man. I'll talk to you later. You have more shoots at repping this. We have a night shoot coming up in a couple weeks. It's a night rifle shoot, so I've been working on ammunition for that. You know what 67 is? No, I don't know what 67 is. My daughter does. She's got a, yeah. You got a stoner. No, I don't have a stoner rifle. Them are actually pretty rare. So yeah, like Grilled Cheese says, the biggest thing you need to purchase a firearm is money. So, is that 1911 a 9mm or 45? I personally like mine in 10mm. Mine's, that one, the commander length is a 45. I have 3 1911s. 2 are in 45, 1 is in 22. I would, obviously for a single frame gun, I wouldn't mind having one in 10mm. I just have never bought one, mainly because I don't have a use for it. So I tend to buy a lot of things for an intended purpose. Like if they're for my kids, I can justify just buying them because it's going to be fun for them. But a lot of the stuff I buy is for competition, and it's usually specific for a division, a class in a competition. So like USPSA open division or limited optics or production or something like that. So Lillian, that's why I have what I have, is they're specific for a division. It's not like the little 22s. You know, them are fun. The purple and the red and black one, them are for Steel Challenge. So, ammo, how are you doing? 10mm is unfortunately underrated with the right ammo. Is literally the best general purpose round money can buy. EDC Outdoor. It's not a great competition gun. They're snappy, and if you're gonna shoot like I was talking about limited major or limited 10, where you'd shoot major, you'd shoot 40 because it's a little softer. So it's, everything you say is 100% correct, except competition use. There's way better options than 10mm for that. But different rules. We're not talking about needing penetration or knockdown power. We're talking about, recoil, muzzle flip, and cost. Georgian, how are you doing, man? I hope your day is going good. Beyond Raging Bullets, same to you, man. I'm glad to see you here. Hope your guys' day is going good. So, I don't own any SIGs at all. So it's just kind of me, man. I'm not saying I don't like them, but like the SIG 226s or the 229s, they never impressed me that much. It was better option, especially for that money. And all the new SIGs, they have issues. I wouldn't mind their Mark 18 or whatever they call it, just to have a U.S. service pistol, but until they figure their shit out, that's not on my radar. Stormtroopers, how are you doing, man? I hope your day is going good. Hey, you generally put out great content. I enjoy watching your stuff. Goldie Torres, I'm good, man. How are you doing? Hope your day's going good as well. Ammo, I'm surprised you're not shooting today. Glock has the same issue. Glock does not have the same issue as SIG. So SIG does not have uncommanded discharges. SIG is a a Glock is a double action only firearm. A SIG is actually, the new SIGs, they're actually a single action trigger. So they have a fire and pin or trigger safety, but it's a single action firearm. You're not manually cocking it in order to fire it, and that's part of the reason they're having issues. Christopher Lewis, what's good with you? How are you doing, man? Glad you stopped by. Can you show the purple? I can zoom in on it a little bit. I'm not going to pick it up and handle it. That's a Ruger. A lot of people seem to like that. It's a Ruger 2245 Light. It was a Lipsy Special. It has a tandem cross grip on it. It's actually my daughter's pistol. So it's a pretty nice gun. Can't go wrong with the Rugers. The one below it is actually the special one. That's a tandem cross build. That was a sponsored firearm as well. Yeah, we found a new range today. We're trying out. Perfect. So I imagine you're going to get some video posted. Striker fired guns have issues with hard primers, but they don't have an issue with uncommanded discharges. So SIGs have uncommanded discharges. That's just the way it is. Glock is Glock. It may not be a 24/7 sneezing gun, but it's not any better. Bad trigger ergos, doesn't have a natural point of. I disagree with all that. Love the purple one. I appreciate it, man. Hey, you guys be sure to double tap the screen for me. I'd appreciate that. Consider subscribing to the channel. That would help too. We'll post a video later on tonight. Look out for it. I will, absolutely. I'll check that out. On the hunt for a Canik TTI Smoke. There you go. A lot of people seem to like the Caniks. Caniks have a great trigger. Other than that, it's kind of what it is. Yep, that's a Barrett M82 in the back. A lot of times that's where that gun lives. It just sits right there. It's a very large firearm, so it doesn't fit in the safe real well. It's 11 grand for that, or I can remove 13, 14 grand worth of firearms out of the safe to have room for it. So that's a cheaper option to leave set out. There are some videos with uncommanded discharges on Glocks and others. Glocks don't have uncommanded discharges. The trigger is literally not capable of firing until you pull it. So that is what it is. It's preference that decide who likes a gun or not. You may like Glock, I may like H. Yeah, it's things are different. I guarantee we all have different experiences. So, and it makes a person's personal collection fun. Yeah, Glocks aren't a collectible firearm. They're a great service gun. So I mean it's kind of a gun. A lot of other things are measured by, size, weight, frame, accuracy, reliability. So no, there's two snubbies up there. One's a 38 special and one's 357. The 38 special is a Smith & Wesson J-frame. It's the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard. It's a internal hammer, so there's no exposed hammer on it. It's 5 shots. It's a great gun for somebody to keep in like a vehicle or a pocket. The one right above it's a 357. It's a Taurus. I forget the model number, 6 something. But it's a 7-shot 357 Magnum. So thoughts on suppressors? Suppressors are good ideas. I just don't show them on my channels. I try not to show any NFA items on my channel. I lost a channel over doing that a few years ago. Diddy Tickler, bye, I have to go, but I subscribe to you. Thanks, man, I appreciate it. You have a good day. Thanks for stopping. Which one of these guns is my favorite? Probably the Checkmate on the top left side. That's probably the gun I use the most right now. I like the Derringer. The little North American Arms is pretty slick. It's a nice gun to have. Green Hood Smoke, how are you doing, man? What's going on for you today? I may be mentally ill because I actually use the MK23 for a lot of things. It's my home defense sidearm. Don't ask how I handle the weight. I'm just used to holding big, long things. Yeah, that happens, you know. I mean, that's why I carry subcompacts. I'm delicate to the weight and the size. Used to small things, I guess. Bottom left, what is it? The very bottom left is a Ruger Wrangler chambered in 22 long rifle with a burnt bronze finish. Picked up a St. Victor, and I'm thinking about getting a suppressor, but they are expensive. They are expensive. But they're a lot of firearms shoot better when suppressed. With the harmonics of most firearms, they generally do well suppressed. Green Hood Smoke, good. Just did a lame live. Oh, why was it lame? What'd you get for views? What's your favorite? Probably the CZ Checkmate. Do you like the Girsan? Personally, as a left-handed shooter, I don't. If I were a right-handed shooter, it's a slick gun. I have a Beretta 92 FS to compare it to. Them two guns were the same money. This one's titanium nitride gold type-ish, and it's engraved. Triggers and components are the same. There's no clear winner there. If you were getting like the black one or the blue one, the Girsan's a couple $100 cheaper. 2 kilograms of pistol is generally amazing in my life. Has been changed in ways I never imagined. Fuck if I ever pick up any compacts again. We did an amazing giveaway smoke kit. Shit, I wish I would have been there, man. But hey, you have my number, so when you're gonna do it live, feel free to send me texts and I'll make sure I jump in them. Both people won. Oh boy. Oh boy. Wish I would have been there. Yeah, as a lefty, I'm left-handed, so that's a little different. Yeah, I'm a witch. This airsoft, no, they're all real guns. Nice shadow systems. Yeah, I appreciate that. That's a nice, that's a nice firearm. You know, it's not the most accurate gun I own, but it's been reliable and it's accurate enough. Thank you for answering. That was helpful. Absolutely. Told you I'm everywhere. Funny stuff. Is a 38 Special black revolver? It is 38 Special only. It's a 5-shot Smith & Wesson Bodyguard, which is a J-frame, internal hammer. There's nothing. It's low fun. I mean, it's not something you're gonna go out and shoot hundreds of thousands of rounds, and it's not meant for that. It's a super lightweight 38 Special. That was some 158 grain plus Ps. It's equivalent to a 357. I don't really have any opinion on the Macmillan TAC 300. I've never shot one. I've never handled one. But all jokes aside, do you have anything 760? I do. I have a L1A1. I have a M1A Scout Squad. The one bolt action there is 308. What else do I have? I have a AR-10. I got a bunch of stuff in 308 or 7.62 by 51 if that's what you prefer. I like the purple one. It's a slick gun. Thank you. I appreciate it. CZ75 Tactical Sport Checkmate. Yep, that's the one on the top left. I actually own a couple of them. That's my main competition gun. Now, if I'm shooting IDPA, depending on what game I'm playing, so I use that for hit factor. I use it for 2-gun, and I use it for USPSA. For IDP, I generally shoot a SP01, or I just started shooting that Glock build. I like the second CZ from the top left. Yes, you have very good taste. That's the CZ Tactical Sport Orange 2. Shot the 6.5 Creedmoor last night with no earport. Yeah, that's not brilliant. I just lost your comment, Green Hood Smoke. Let me go back to that. I will do a message tomorrow. Yeah, absolutely, man. Don't be afraid to let me know when you're doing it. I tell ammo and shit the same thing. Least patriotic American. Yeah, I feel ya. I mean, I'm one breath and a sneeze away from being full communist. Sign between a shield. Get the Echelon. They're pretty nice firearms. I want to purchase a Glock 19. I would wait for the Gen V or the new V, whatever they want to call it, just because you're going to be able to change grip modules and stuff with that. L1A1 SLR. Oh, hell yeah. Got a G3. There you go. G3s are badass too. Is it actual HK G3 or is it like one of the PTR or sent, not really a sent me, but one of the clones? My L1 is actually a true British firearm. It's a British small arms. So it was an import. So it's, I mean, it doesn't get any more authentic than that. It was a Milsurp firearm. Yeah, accepted by Brittany. Yeah, because they wanted the 240 or the 280. I'm sorry, they wanted a 280. I think was the caliber they wanted. I'm about to buy a PSA Dagger CMP1. If you ask my opinion, stay away from the PSAs. Maybe look at the Ruger RXM. Green Smoke, I just subscribed to you. There you go. Appreciate that, Joe. What are your thoughts on Sig Sauer's 320? Sig Sauer's got a lot of issues to work out. So until they figure that out, that's my thoughts on that. The black rifle in the back is a Barrett M82 50 caliber. It's an HK91. There you go. Better yet, before the import bans, going to be an HK53. There you go. Then an MSG 90. Perfect. Yeah, it's, I mean, it's your money. Do what you want. But there's, I don't know. I'm not going to say anything negative about them, but there's better stuff out there for the money. Gunbroker was great. Found it. Yeah, Gunbroker. I like Gunbroker. I love the North American Arms. Is that the mini? That's the smallest 22 long rifle they make. So the 22 short's just a smidge smaller, but that's the smallest one they make. I've been looking at those old 32 Bulldog pistols. Yeah, that's not a Bulldog though. The Bulldogs are Charter Arms. One's a Taurus, one's a Smith & Wesson. The M&P shields are good too. A lot of people like them. I don't have an opinion on the Canik Medi Prime. I haven't shot one, so I wouldn't even be able to give you an honest opinion about it. What I can say is Caniks have great triggers. So they give you a lot of options or a lot of things for the price point. So a lot of people tend to like Caniks. My striker fired gun of choice is a Glock, so it's hard for me to really get into a Canik. I am a G3 Whisperer. I love the gun. I will sell my guts. Yeah, I don't blame you. I used to have HK91 too. It was a manufacturer. It was an import, and it had a manufacturer date of '83. Super nice gun. But during the Obama years, I sold it, and I would hate to. I could have bought the Barrett for what I sold the gun for. Is that a Galaxy pistol? I think the Galaxy pistols are airsoft, right? So them are real 22s. CZ 10C, that's a great firearm too. So one big factor, my entire family uses service weapons, both in Iran, Iraq, and just regular boot camp. And it was the first rifle I shot. There you go. Yeah, a lot of people like to say the FAL or the L1A1s were the right arm of the free world, but I think more nations adopted the G3 than probably the L1A1 or FAL or STG58, whatever you want to call it. G3C, that's another great option for people kind of balling on a budget. They come in good. The ones I've been looking at are yeah, different games, man. We play different games, so different firearms. Yeah, but they do make real steels in 25 caliber and in 22. I want to get the white and black one they have at my Cabela's. Yeah, it's a great option for you. Guess I'll go with the C. Yeah, I would recommend the CZ over the Canik, but that's just my opinion. I do definitely like CZ firearms. I own a lot of them, but I think the CZ is probably a little better gun, in my opinion. It's going to be more accurate than the Canik. Well, mechanical accuracy, it's definitely more accurate than a Canik. Just ran another 401 session through my Shadow 2 LOL. How's your Shadow 2 shooting for you? I know you said you you had a little fiasco with cleaning it. The G3 lived for longer. It's ahead of its time. Uh, while fellows slowly fade, and armies use the G3 modularity to just modernize it. It's an awesome gun. It doesn't deserve. No, G3. I think they're fabulous firearms. Um, like I said, I had a 91, so it's same thing, a little bit nicer. And mine was a designated marksman version, so had a good trigger. Had the goofy ergo grip on it. Shit, it was a nice gun. Smith & Wesson competition over the steel frame series. Yeah, I would say their competition's probably better, with the exception of if you're gonna carry it, right? If you're gonna actually conceal carry it, the steel frame would probably be better for that. If you're looking for anything other than everyday carry, then that's where it would be at. They have a lot of sales coming up. I kind of enjoy the holidays sometimes because it's nice for us collectors. Yeah, there's a lot of people that have great sales. You know, Black Friday is always a good one. Cyber Monday is a good one. Um, you know, the end of the year sales are great because everybody wants to move inventory, so they have to pay taxes on it. Perfect flattest shooter I have now, no issue, buttery smooth. I just don't use grease on it anymore. Why don't you use grease on it anymore? How about Grenier shotguns? Always wanted to get my hands on. I'm not familiar with that brand at all. So, hello there, a guy with a bunch of TSOs. Where did the 2 go? I'm not sure what do you mean by the 2. The TSO 2 is right there. I have a second one. I just don't. Dude, it's a small table. I can't put everything out on the table. So, I don't hang guns on walls. That's not me. I kept mine mostly stock. I know it's home defense weapon, but still full length with irons, and it just has a light and sling. There you go. Don't worry, I'm not using FMJ. I actually love my neighbor. There you go. I think Hornady Critical Defense makes good ammunition for, you know, 7.62 or 308 for that type of purpose. Yeah, I do know you tend to. It doesn't take much, John, and I think ultimately you're better off using grease over oil, especially when you get in nicer firearms. It saves the gun. So, Greeners think John Wayne used them in a couple movies. Yeah, I'm not familiar with it. Booty Bandits probably knows what that is. It sounds like cowboy action firearm. What's your opinion on night sights for hunting also? Well, you don't need night sights for hunting because you're hunting during daylight hours. And if you've never shot a handgun at night, for your first shot, you can see your sights. After that, you can't see your sights. I shoot usually a few times a year. We'll shoot night matches. And the best thing to have on your firearm you might use at nights is a flashlight with a laser. Even the dot, you don't see the dot. After your first shot, you don't see the dot. So a laser and a flashlight's where it's at. I swear I saw your live the other day, and you have 3. I do. I have a TSO 1 and 2 TSO 2s. So, like I said, I try to change it up. I don't always put the same stuff out. There's certain things I tend to always put out. The little North American Arms we tend to put out. The Gerson we put out, usually a Checkmate. The 22 on the bottom right I tend to put out too because that was a sponsored gun. So I put it out so that we can answer questions about it, and we can also talk about it if people are interested. So they bring good money. They are coach style gun. There you go. Does it have the internal hammers or the external hammers? Oh, yeah, I always wanted a pair of that, but they're about 12 grand. There you go. I do not have a blunderbuss. So the little 38 special, it's a gun I generally keep in my vehicle. When I ride my motorcycle, I'll keep it in either my saddlebag or my dash. So it's a close range firearm. You know, you can hit stuff pretty easily out to 15 yards with it. With a little U-notch sight, it gets very difficult much past 15 yards. You can still get shots on a silhouette at 25 and I don't know that I've even tried to use it past that. But you know, all right, gotta go. Just taking a little nap before work murders me in my sleep. Till next time. Yeah, man. I hope you subscribed. I look forward to chatting with you again. That goes for anybody that's still here. By all means, double tap that screen. Consider subscribing to the channel. Check out some of the content. That's appreciated. Um, I've seen Johnny Glock say Loctite LB8008 copper-based grease is what called. Yeah, the anti-seize. There's better options out there. They use it because it's cheap, and they buy it in drums. So I wouldn't say it's superior. I prefer Shooter's Choice multi-purpose grease. It's a great option. You ever open carry the 357 will ride? No, I'm not a open carry type person. I don't want people knowing I have a firearm unless I'm going to use it. So, one of the greatest things about being able to carry a firearm is the fact that it's a surprise element. Somebody picks you to be a victim because they assume you're unarmed and weak. So by openly displaying a firearm, that changes you from a victim to a priority target. So in a group of people in a grocery store or something else, you know, do you want to have the means or ability to defend yourself, or do you want to have the means to bleed out first? On a motorcycle, that might be a good thing for people to know. No, again, I prefer not. Especially on a bike. It's just better not that way. So I could go into a million reasons why, but it's just better. Yeah, I have no desire to take any more human life than I've participated in taking now. It's not a great feeling, so. From Florida, we got open carry, and we'll only conceal carry fish. So yeah, I can understand something like that where you're fishing and you may come across alligators or something. That would make sense to have that in that situation, just for the ability to get to it quickly. It would be the same reason for, like, if I were going hunting and I had a sidearm on me, it'd be the same reason I'd openly carry that sidearm, is for the ability to use it quickly. So for most scenarios, most life situations, you're better off having it concealed. So that's what I know. And everybody's different, you know. I think some people like to open carry because they think it's an intimidation factor, and it's not. You know, some people like to be like, hey, look at me, I got a gun. And again, it's a tool, you know. I don't carry expensive, fancy, flashy firearms because they're a tool. So kind of how I feel about it. Some people are different though, you know. So if it kind of depends, I guess, on what you want to do with it or what your intentions are. But generally speaking, I strongly believe that you would be better off having a concealed firearm. Yeah, I've seen videos like that, and again, it just makes somebody look like a tool. They're doing it because they want to be seen with an AK riding around, and we'll leave it at that. Other than again, I'll say this: it makes you a priority target. So you're openly riding around with a firearm. You don't have that firearm on you all the time. We all go to work, right? So some criminal, some hood sees you with that firearm and then sees you pull into your house. Guess what? You just increased your odds of significantly being robbed. You know, just like the guys who put, you know, Ruger stickers on their car, or Smith & Wesson stickers on their car. Some criminal at a glance knows you probably have firearms, so your vehicle is more likely to get broke into, and your house is more likely to get broke into. How does the Staccato or 2011 in general compare with the CZ Shadow at the range? I've not had the pleasure with the CZ yet. Um, so the Staccatos are a very finicky gun. When you see people shooting matches with them, pretty much after every stage, they're taking the gun apart, they're cleaning it, and they're cleaning their magazines in order to get it run. A CZ Shadow will run 10, 20, 30,000 rounds sometimes without being cleaned. Just need to be lubed. Magazines definitely don't need to be disassembled after every stage because it fell in the dirt. I think Staccatos, 1911 triggers are great. The CZ Shadow 2 triggers are also fabulous. Is one flatter than the other? I don't think so. I do think that people do have the ability to shoot the Staccatos very accurately, but I've seen similar accuracy and sometimes greater with Shadows. So it's kind of a horse apiece and it's a preference. So, the Staccatos definitely come in at a little bit higher price point. In my opinion, they are very overpriced for what they are. I like the STI. I like STI. The Staccato, I'm not such a big fan of. For the money they buy, you can buy a really, really nice Masterpiece Arms or a lot of other 1911s in that price range that are actually a better gun. So, and never forget the lube. Lube choice and lube preference, very important. And that's every aspect in life, right? Everything from firearms to automobiles to, time with your significant other. You gotta have the right lube. Thinking about the Sig Sauer 365 AWG Legions, what are your thoughts? Again, I said this earlier, I don't know if you were here or not. I tend to stay away from Sig firearms. They make great stuff generally. They have good firearms, they use good barrels. I'm not such a fan of some of their company politics and them throwing people under the bus. I want a company that stands behind their product. So I have a G34 and Staccato P with some mods, but the Staccato is so much more accurate. Yeah, it's because it's a Staccato versus a Glock 34. I've been wanting a CZ, just haven't went for it yet. Thanks for the info. Yeah, I don't think you would be disappointed with the CZ. They're heavier than the Staccatos for sure. It's an all steel frame gun, where the Staccatos have that plastic grip module. You can feel plastic just like in a Glock. You can feel the plastic flex when you shoot it, and it helps get some of the harsh recoil out of the firearm, even in a Glock 34, right? With a steel frame like the CZ Shadows, you feel all that recoil. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm not saying it's painful, I'm not saying anything at all, but you do feel it. So, what's your favorite concealed carry guns? I carry a Glock 26. I started with a Glock Gen 3 26, then I got a Gen 4 26, and now for the last couple years it's been a Gen 5. But that's been my primary firearm for concealed carry for 25 years is a Glock 26 in one of them 3 generations. I love the CZ Blue. Still have yet to had the pleasure of the orange. Yeah, any of the CZ orange models, so the Shadow 2 orange, the Tactical Sport Orange 2 oranges, the Tactical Sport Orange 1, they're light years ahead of what a Shadow 2 is. They're nice. Sometimes with a lot of firearms, you don't get what you're paying for. For a prime example, right? I have a Tactical Sport Orange 2. It costs $2,200. I have a Dan Weston DWX, cost $2,200. The Tactical Sport Orange 2 was worth every single penny that cost. It was worth every cent, and you felt like it was money well spent. The DWX left me really like underwhelmed. I don't think it's great value for the money. I don't think it's worth what the gun cost. The TSO2 is worth every penny of that. So, my opinion. A lot of people like the DWX. Me owning both of them, I'm not real impressed with the DWX. Now, if I didn't own the TSO2, I would probably be coming all over myself with the DWX. But it's half the firearm, you know. No, I don't have a license. We print them off in the basement. So that's nice. I hope you feel good. You got your 4 seconds of acknowledgement there, since you've been so desperately seeking the attention of strangers. Now you can go back home, go put your dress back on, dance around in front of the mirror. Tell yourself you're a pretty girl. I'm a pretty girl. Mommy loves me. My 2 mommies love me so much. Newsflash for you. Even your moms don't like you. They think you're a tool. Shall not be infringed. Absolutely, it's not a suggestion. And absolutely all firearms are covered under that. You know, people that argue, you know, the founding fathers never intended for high capacity AR-15s to be a civilian thing. Well, in that aspect, the founding fathers didn't consider internet or television or anything like that being free speech either. But you can't say it's acceptable for one and not the other. And let's be honest, you know, the founding fathers wrote the Second Amendment more over cannons than muskets. So you're telling me the founding fathers wouldn't have felt it or wanted AR-15, especially where they're, you know, just fought a war of independence? They absolutely would have taken an AR-15 with high capacity magazines. Their time, they were using the same equipment as the military, and that was what the Second Amendment was written for, is to keep everything and everybody equal. Oh no. Send me your location. I'll call the FBI that you're armed illegal. Yep. Learn how to spell illegal. You just seem autistic at this point. Shows how insignificant you are when you can't even come up with an original name for your channel or a profile pic. Your punctuation is first grade level at best. Your ability or inability to spell a proper or a correct word is just sad. No wonder your moms don't like you. New one every month. Yep. Gotta love trolls in there. Yeah, they are. I'm gonna let him troll. He thinks he's like irritating me or something. It just shows how pathetic he is. He's probably sitting there right now biting his pillow trying to think of something else creative to say. But yeah, need to earn money, man. You gotta keep working. Find a company or a place that'll let you I'm just kidding, brother. Don't took it. Hey, you took it that far. Go away. Go away. Can I live with you? You're like, yeah, no, I got a full house. I have 2 kids, a wife, and 3 dogs. My house is full. He's probably a Canadian, and his dad has to turn in his probably. So yeah, find a company or a store that'll let you do layaway. That's the best way to buy expensive firearms. It encourages you to go to work every day, maybe work a little extra overtime, and it you know, keeps your eye on a prize. It's easier to pay on something than, for me, it's easier to pay on something than to save up the money. You know, I just write that off as like part of taxes. You know, this much comes out of my check every week for firearms. Yeah, that's kind of the way it works, Joe. He's a red coat. I think he's probably a liberal rainbow coat. Dude probably dresses up in women's dresses. His mom's been telling him how he's her precious little princess for years. Yeah, so that's my suggestion for people is you find a good shop you can deal with, and just make payments, man. You know, um, I've I've purchased lots of firearms that way. Now there's things like my Barrett. I paid for cash with that. Nobody's gonna let you put that kind of gun on layaway, right? You know. We had Eris taken from us in British. Oh, Eris. Jesus loves you always will. Absolutely, I agree. Thank you for spreading the message. They put lotion on his skin or gets the hose again. Yep. You know, that's what I picture. That little basement troll is sitting there with his little doggy Precious. Got his pecker tucked between his legs, telling him how he's so precious. Stifler, what's going on, man? How are you doing? Thanks for the yeah. Like I said, that was my initial review. I was hoping to have some more content, and I was actually hoping to have more issues with it than we did. But I wanted to get that out. I've been sitting on it for a minute, so I will. We'll definitely have some more content. It won't be much more match footage now until spring, but we'll be running it hard in spring for sure. What do you have? 22 LR. I have a bunch of stuff on the table here. It's the revolver on the bottom left. It's the revolver in the middle, the little miniature one, and then it's the two guns on the right hand side, the purple one and the red and black one. On the table, that's the only thing long rifle. But I have a bunch of stuff in long rifle. I have those same Colt revolvers, and the 6 stainless finish Cobra are absolutely gorgeous. There you go. Never go wrong with a Colt. So, something work in progress. I'll share this with you. Stifler's Gen 3 slides work on Gen 2 frames. I have one that we've been testing with it, and it works just fine on Gen 3 frame, or Gen 2 frame. All those are 22. So the two stainless larger revolvers are 357. The black J frame is 38 special. The little miniature revolver in the middle is a 22. The very bottom left-hand gun is 22. And then the two on the right. So, you find my laser. I'll show you again. Work in progress. It gets Gen 3 through Gen 1. Yep. So that's a 22 long rifle. That's 22 long rifle. That's 22 long rifle. That's 22 long rifle. That said, you can fit a Gen 3 on Gen 4, Gen 5. Yeah, I don't have a Gen 5 to try it on, but the Gen 4 works on everything. So you do need to use the right spring if you're putting a Gen 4 on a Gen 3. But they work. They work just fine. So you buy a little spring conversion, you put it in your slide so you can use a standard spring for it, and it's just fine. Yeah, it might be a waste, but it was my money to spend, so that's what I wanted to spend it on. Awesome Gen 2 17, but also a Gen 3 19C. There you go. Why don't I show my face? Well, go to the channel and watch the content, man. My local gun shop was just selling new Glock 19 Gen 3 450. Had to pick it up. Yeah, I would have picked it up for that. That's a pretty good deal. Is it optics ready? Yeah, that dude's just trolling, man. He's mad because we know he's a little trans kid. That's the regular price. Never a waste of money. So let me ask you this. NJP, do you legitimately want to stick around and have a conversation now? Because that's nice that you're finally done with the trolling, and as a reward, for being done trolling, we're gonna go ahead. Oh, we're gonna go ahead and do this for you. We are gonna permanently kick you from the channel just because you were a troll, and now that you want to participate, you can go fuck off. No Optics MOS on the Gen 4 from what I've been seeing. I already have a few Gen 5s. There you go. Bye, Felicia. Bye, Karen, formerly known as Kevin. Your moms will be so proud of you. The locks have been flying off the shelves today. That's the first troll I've booted in a very long time. And honestly, only because he decided he wanted to kind of participate after he did a hard job of trying to troll. He can go on down the road. Yeah, I bet a lot of people are buying Glocks. The thing is why, you know? AFV, have you been to Emax Tactical yet? To their website? For your 50. I've been on their website. I haven't purchased anything. It's sad people take time out of their lives to troll. What a waste of our finite time on this earth. Yeah, that's whatever. Yeah, there's a rush on Glocks because of the Gen V series coming out and discontinue, but instead of giving Glocks more money, just embrace the clone market. Yeah, I can't blame Glock for what they're doing. Number one, there's a lot of companies or a lot of contracts that want a drop-in fire control. You know, that's why they didn't get the military contract, is that's one of the things the military wanted and Glock refused to do it. The modifications to get rid of the ability to add a switch, dude, they'll just do another type of FRT. That's going to happen. That's going to happen. The benefit of going with the Glock V series is now you can buy aftermarket frames. You can buy one gun like SIG or some of these other ones. You buy one fire and control unit and you can turn that from a Glock 19 to a Glock 45 to a Glock 26. You have the ability to buy aftermarket frames, which is absolutely going to do a lot for aftermarket frames, right? So I don't think it's a bad thing. No more shenanigans for him. Nope. Goodbye. But they said nothing when AR-15 manufacturers machine blowers to not accept an automatic sear. So not all companies do that. A lot of them still do the low shelf and the straight receiver cuts. Colt was a big one for like bending over, trying to suck some political dick to not be hit on a ban. You know, I don't blame a company for trying not to do it. One thing we haven't talked about with Glock going to a different series trigger group is, what do you think the triggers are going to be like? Do you think they're going to be significantly better? I'm going to bet they're going to be a better trigger, a better design. Figure that design was designed in 1980 by Gaston. You know, the fact that Glock is finally starting to make changes to their firearms after Gaston died this last year is a good thing. This is a good thing. You know, this isn't bad. Actually, I don't know. I don't remember when he died, but you know, hasn't been that long since he passed away, I don't think. Guess we'll never see the Glock AR for sure now. I don't know. We might. I would love to see a PCC Glock. I think a lot of people would buy it just because it's a Glock rifle, right? Yeah, daggers will work fine with our slides. I converted my Gen 4 G17 to a 34 with aftermarket slide. Yeah, I have a 34, and the frame that Stifler slide is on right now is my Glock 34 frame. So you can go any which way, and that's an advantage, you know. So it's interesting, you know. It's a good thing. All my Daniel Defense will still accept an auto sear, but I have no need for one. Sire. Yeah, nobody wants to go to jail. You do have to machine the third hole, and I'm pretty sure Daniel Defense. Give me 1 second, because I can look. I just happen to have a Daniel Defense rifle sitting right here. I'm pretty sure they use the standard receiver cuts like everybody else does. Yep, they do. So the rear portion behind the fire control group and the area by the takedown pin, Daniel Defense uses the same cut that most people do, and that's an angled in cut. In order to drop in a full auto sear, that would be a straight cut all the way back. Let's see. Cool Guns, yeah. Maybe they will get more creative and get outside the box. I think they will. I think in order for Glock to stay relevant, they have to. They have to start giving people what they want. You know, their little V comp, that's not what people want. But we'll see. You know, I look forward to seeing them come out with some better frames, textured frames. So that'll be all right. I used to be a machine gunner, and to be honest, it's not useful in a fight outside specific circumstances like immediate room clear and enemy suppression. I agree. You're just throwing rounds down range, wasting resources. It's good for suppressing fire, you know, suppress the enemy and maneuver. I have zero interest in autos, but definitely respect those who have the right to. Yeah, I agree too. So all that stuff, it's expensive. I would like to see us have the ability to purchase new full auto stuff. That would be nice. The fact that they closed that's pretty fucking gay. Rather save that money for suppressors. Yeah. I like the fact them getting rid of the NFA tax on suppressors. I think what we're going to see a lot of is a lot of these major manufacturers, they're going to be internally suppressed from the factory, internally suppressed with an SBR. Think about it. If you didn't have to pay any money on it and you just had to fill out paperwork, I would rather have an internally suppressed firearm right from the factory. That's where the ticket's at. You two Cast, how are you doing, man? Hope your day is going good. Missed your comment, Stifler. Let's see. Wonder if they'll improve their adapter plates for the MOS optics. Apparently a lot of people complain the adapter plates are poor quality. Yeah, it'd be nice. This is their opportunity to kind of rebrand themselves and come back to the market. I bought a Voodoo cheap AR with Anderson lower, and it has a low shelf, lower receiver, where it's level with the middle of the hole for the selector. There you go. A direct mount optic with no plate would be cool. Yeah, but then you get into what optics will work. It would be nice to see that there'd be some standardization with not only machine threads, diameters for the screws holding optics, but to come out with a common footprint. DDM4 ISR for the win. There you go. Can't argue with that either. Focus, how are you doing, man? Hope your day is going good. Burst was fine and useful for short to medium engagements, especially in urban environments. Absolutely. That first that first 10 seconds, 15 seconds of an engagement, fucking light off a full auto burst. Yeah, hell yeah. Absolutely. That's a great way to make your enemy reevaluate what they just did. Pop out, rock out bars. Yeah, I'm good cooking. How are you doing? Hope your day is going good. You off today, or you got to work? If you got to work, I imagine you're probably at work right now. Just got home from work not too long ago. Figured I'd check in on the brothers. There you go. I'm sitting here bored waiting for my oldest to come over. I figured I would just get some live hours in. Weren't the original M16s 3-round burst? No, the original Vietnam era M16s were full auto. They were later changed to 3-round burst. The reason we went with Trijicon RMR flat is because it was the most popular. There's lots of models that use it. Yeah, it absolutely. I think it's a better setup than Delta Point Pro. So it's kind of the way it is. So that's what it needs to be, though. Essentially, there's two main types of optics. You have the RMR and you have the Delta Point. So it would be nice to have some commonality, just some standardization. We the best? Absolutely. I want to get some new content done today, hopefully with my 509T and Diamondback. There you go. Get out and do some shooting, man. It's a perfect day for it. M16A1 I think was auto, correct. M16A2 and M16A4 were burst. And I think the new M16A4 was auto. Loophole Delta Point Pro is just too big for a pistol. I have one on my Beretta A400 turkey shotgun. So them Gideon optics I have is exact same dimensions as the Delta Point Pros, and I like that optic. I will be buying one in the future here. For a carry gun, they might be big. For the type of things I use my handguns for, bigger is better. The bigger the glass, the larger the frame, the faster you can shoot it. I want Acro Point P2 cut on my aftermarket slide, but think I should have gone with RMR because only 2 or so red dots use Acro footprint. There'll be more coming out, so that Acro's still pretty new. M16A2 for a while, it had single burst, full auto. Yeah. So you had the 4 position. It's pretty rare. Three-round burst is kind of lame. There's no. It would be one thing if every time you pulled the trigger you got 3 rounds, but sometimes you'd get 1 round, sometimes you get 2 rounds, sometimes you get all 3. You know, the 3-round burst was retarded. It's stupid. So, with that, gentlemen, I'm gonna get off here. We've been on an hour. That's usually about the time the lives start going down. So if you haven't, please consider double tapping the screen, put a like on the video. If you haven't, consider subscribing to the channel. I'd appreciate that for, absolutely. But I'll get off of here. You guys go do your day. I've heard complaints, but mine seem to work fine. Yeah, they happen. Have a good one. Absolutely. Yeah, it's a little cam system. A3 and then A4 when I got my unit before they swapped to M4A1. There you go. Gentlemen, ladies, things, you guys have a good day. I will catch all of you next time.